I'm Carla Pentz, grew up in Blockhouse, went to school in Mahone Bay. It was a small town, but we had a lot of fun because we had to make a lot of our own fun. There were no gadgets or cell phones or anything like that, so we had to figure out ways to entertain ourselves. And it was very safe. You only saw a couple of cars. In Blockhouse, you saw maybe 5 or 7 cars a day. We used to count cars. We used to count railroad cars. Though that was usually a lot more. So we had a railroad. We used to get on the train in Blockhouse to go to Bridgewater. That's 75 cents. That was how we traveled back and forth to Bridgewater by train. Now the tracks are gone. We used to have something in Blockhouse too called Funorama. It was something the Anglican Church put together as a fundraiser, and we had Man in the Tub. That was where you threw a ball and tried to dunk somebody in the water. We'd have a Ferris wheel, and it was like a little tiny fair in Blockhouse. So I used to love going to the hardware store. Not that I was interested in hardware, but he'd have all these penny candies. Then there were certain candies you could get 3 for a penny. Then you were cooking. And there used to be 2 scoops of ice cream. A 5-cent scoop and a 10-cent scoop. And they were literally 2 different scoops. You were in heaven if you got a 10-cent scoop. 1 cop car in town, so if you knew where the cop car was, you could squeal your tires because you didn't have to worry about a second one. Doing power turns around the monument, that was an old Saturday night trick. When I was a little girl, I started in what is now the Waldorf School, the Blockhouse one-room schoolhouse. We only had an outhouse. It was a 3-seater. So you took your 2 best friends with you when you went to the outhouse, because the 3 of you could go at once. And water was a bucket that every boy took a turn drawing water out of the well. And you had 1 little tin dipper, and everybody drank out of the same one, and it was real sanitary. When I went to grade 1, we went to the new school, and I went to school there till grade 6. Then they shipped us down to Mahone Bay. And there I stayed till grade 12 and graduated out of. My mother was a family of 4 girls, and they were kind of these amazing ladies. What an awesome family to grow up in. They were very, very close. 2 lived right in Mahone Bay, 2 lived in Blockhouse. 1 was a cook. She had been a chef in what was called the Royal Hotel. Today that is the site of Mahone Bay Nursing Home. So she was always cooking, baking. You know, you could bomb into her house with 6 or 7 people and she'd throw a 7-course dinner on the table in 20 minutes, and you'd think, how the heck did she do this? My mother, who was the second oldest, she was a seamstress, so she made everybody's wedding dress, and she did all the sewing for the family. It was like having 4 mothers instead of 1. It was a pretty neat family to be brought up in. My father grew up what's now referred to as the Ring Farm in Big Lots. I keep calling it the Arthur Oikel Farm because Arthur, my grandfather, built it. And that was a family of 9. So that family wasn't super duper close, mostly because there were just so flippin' many of them. So it's really, really interesting to think about how they lived. And, you know, you had a horse maybe, or you had a team of oxen. But there was no tractors, there was no electricity, no refrigeration. And they'd walk to church, you know, they'd walk down the Faubourg Road, up through Mahone Bay, that comes out somewhere there. Life changes, moves on, evolves, hopefully for the better. It's fun to look back. It's fun to remember how things were. And it's fun, it's nostalgia, it's fun to look back, and it's fun to remember some of those things.